Hey guys, welcome to today's video where we're going to be breaking down today's Dolphins game. Before we get started though, please drop a quick like and a sub on today's video. That would really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. With that said, let's dive right into the video and I hope you enjoy. So, tough loss for the Miami Dolphins. They're going to move to 8-8 on the year. First loss in 7 games after the 7-game win streak. The Titans, big win for them. They'll move to 11-5, and depending on some of the other results, they clinch a playoff berth with the win. So, and depending on the other results around the league, depends on where they'll end up placing in the AFC seeding. But this was just a crushing loss for the Dolphins. I mean, this is classic Dolphins football. I mean, it's what it is. You have an opportunity to make the playoffs in the last couple weeks of the season. Big game, with a big storyline. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill playing quarterback for the Titans, former Dolphins quarterback, and you collapse. And this kind of feels similar to Buffalo last year in Week 17, where the Dolphins needed to win and were in. It feels similar to that. It feels just crushing. And to be honest, Tua didn't even play that badly. You look at the stat line, sure, he was not accurate. A lot of high throws, a lot of low throws, a lot of missed throws. Had a fumble. He didn't look great, right? But I thought he actually grew into the game and played some good football down the stretch. It was just his receivers couldn't, catch, and the referees were terrible. The refs were actually terrible. Every single call went Tennessee's way. Absolutely every single call. There were a couple pass interferences that, how is a Titans wide receiver pulling on Nick Needham a defensive pass interference? That doesn't make any sense. There should have been a couple flags thrown. Devante Parker should have got a pass interference call. Like, there were just missed throws, missed flags time and time again by these refs. And I'm sounding like a biased Dolphins fan, but I mean it's just that simple. It's just that simple. There were multiple plays, especially in crucial third downs, crucial fourth downs, big time plays where the refs simply missed things. And that happens, right? Also, the Dolphins didn't really have a run game. I mean, Duke Johnson was really productive on the ground, averaged about 7 yards a carry, but the Dolphins were down big, and after that, you can't really run the football. Gesicki had a nice game in the second half, kind of built back into him. He got multiple targets. Jaylen Waddle wasn't really a factor, and that was a big part of this, Dolphins loss. He just didn't get the ball. Only, barely any catches, way below season average. Had a big 45-yard catch, though, to try and get the Dolphins a little momentum, but that amounted to absolutely nothing. So, just rough, just a rough game from this Dolphins offense. They couldn't really get any momentum going. They had some nice plays back in time again, but they couldn't get points out of them. And that was really what it came down to. Also, missed field goals. If a guy like Jason Sanders makes that field goal when you're down 14, you're down 11 now, okay? But you have another nice drive from your own 6-yard line. You get in a field goal range, but then you have to go for it on fourth down because you're down 14. But if you're down 11, maybe you get the field goal there. You're only down 8 if you make the field goal. And then your defense is a little momentum. It's a one-possession game. You stop them, and then you're only down 8 points. Instead, you don't get either field goal. Then you're down 14. Titans score again because they've got good field position, and then it's a 21-point game. So you can see how those missed field goals kind of add up, right? And they change a game. So that was a really missed opportunity from this Dolphins offense. Jason Sanders missing that field goal, and he just hasn't been good this year. I mean, it's really that simple. He's never really had that 50-plus leg, but even then, you've got to make that field goal to keep your team in the game, especially when you're being paid a lot of money. It was just a tough game. It was a crushing loss on offense. And I mean, the defense didn't even play that badly. I thought Javon Holland played well. Christian Wilkins played well. They were both around the football all the time. Jerome Baker played well. He had a sack. But the Dolphins didn't get the pressure on Ryan Tannehill. And that was a large part. They weren't really blitzing. They really weren't utilizing those cover zero looks. And more importantly, they weren't putting pressure on Tannehill. But more importantly, they couldn't stop the run. And that was a really big factor. Tennessee had over 150 rushing yards on the ground today. I mean, Devonta Foreman was everywhere, and we'll get to that in a sec. But, the Titans played a really, really good game. Tannehill did what Tannehill does. Game manager role, 13, did what he had to do. Over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just played his brand of football. Devonta Foreman was the engine of this Titans defense. And, the Dolphins were a top 10 run defense heading into this game. But Devonta Foreman ran for over 130 yards and a touchdown on them. He got about 25 carries. Like, he was a bully for them. And the passing game, there wasn't much of a passing game for the Titans. It was much more of a run heavy, We're going to run downhill and we're going to pass off of it. Couple touchdowns for the tight ends, Anthony Ferkser and Jeff Swaim. A.J. Brown only had a couple catches for over 40 yards, so not a big day for him. But it was more this Titans defense that really was the reason that they won this game. Number one, their defensive line. They were able to get pressure with only 4 guys a multitude of the time, or most of the time for this Titans defense. They were able to dial the pressure with 4 or 5 guys, and that was allowing them to drop 7 into coverage. And they're not a team like the Dolphins that like to play man coverage. They're a team that likes to focus more on zone coverage. And that was really hard for Tua. When you drop 7 guys into zone coverage and you can rush 4 and get pressure on the quarterback, really big games from Bud Dupree. He was constantly around the football. Also, Harold Landry with a sack. But the linebackers did a really excellent job just pressuring Tua with only four rushers. That really makes it difficult when you're only putting 3 or 4 guys to run routes against 7 defenders in coverage. So there just wasn't any room for Tua to throw the ball into, and I thought the Titans defense was why the Titans won this game. And then the strong play of Christian Fulton. Christian Fulton had a really good game at corner. Didn't allow anything. Just was. He was matched up against Gesicki a little bit. He was matched up against Parker a little bit. Matched up against Waddle a little bit, and he was really, really good for this Titans defense. Overall, really big win for the Titans. The Dolphins are not out of the playoffs. They moved to 8-8. They still have a chance, depending on some other results that happen. But they're going to need a lot of help to get in. They're 100% going to have to win against New England. Next week to close out the season, move to 9-8, and then they're going to need help. They're going to need the Ravens to lose. They're going to need the Raiders to lose. They're going to need the Chargers to lose. They're going to need a lot of those teams to lose to have a chance. But they still have a chance. They still have an opportunity. But it's going to be really tough for this Dolphins team. They're if they were to win out, they were in the playoffs. But they lose to Tennessee end of the season. It's just a crushing loss, is what it is. But the Titans, they moved to 11-5. They're right in the thick of the that first seed. And if Kansas City ends up losing, I don't know the score there. Then they're the 1 seed because they have the tiebreak over Kansas City. So it's very interesting. The Titans are still in play for that first seed. Remember, only one team gets the bye. That's the first seed in the playoffs. So just really tough loss for this Dolphins team. You lose 7 straight games. You're 1-7. You're like, okay, this team's going to be vastly different. But then you win 7 straight games. Yeah, sure, they weren't against the best teams, but still winning 7 games in the NFL. That's impressive. And Tua's been playing well. And I thought Tua, even in this game, the stats aren't pretty. The stats were not pretty in this game, but I thought he did a lot of good things. When you play the RPO game and you play the slow, controlled game with a good defense, you can win games. But the Titans, the Titans are simply a better team than the Dolphins, and this was known coming into the game. Their defense is much better than it was last year, and that's really the reason that they've been able to win games, especially without the likes of a guy like their running back in Derrick Henry. So big win for the Titans. Excuse me. Tough loss for the Dolphins. Yeah, we'll see what happens next week in the AFC playoff picture. And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, see ya.